This is a horror game podcast. It is meant for mature audiences. It may contain adult language, violence, and sexual themes, as well as shocking revelations. Viewer discretion is advised. Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I will be playing the Pulp Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Thom Raley. The campaign is Two Headed Serpent. It was written by Paul Fricker, Scott Dorward, and Mathew Sanderson. It's available directly from Chaosium and also from Drive-Thru RPG. I'm the Keeper of Arcane Lore, and this is Episode 7. Our recap will be given by Carrie Marion as her hero, Fern Meadows. So without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Carrie?
Well, this trip hasn't gone exactly as I expected. Here we were sent to bring medical aid and support to the downtrodden Bolivian people, but instead our little group has found itself smack dab in the middle of an all-out humanoid snake people war. Or something. Apparently we are now Caduceus' secret agents, hell-bent on defeating a snake people faction known as the Inner Night, who want to enslave or destroy all of mankind. Luckily enough, we found Tyranniche, an ancient snake lady scientist who's been sleeping for 13,000 years, swimming through the dreamlands, trying to find her way back to her people's lost citadel that was hidden in a different dimension. On her trek back to the big city, she told us many a tale of her people's history. Much was beyond my comprehension, but boy, oh boy, is she ever fascinating. There's a few tricks up her sleeve I'd like to learn. I've been getting to know my partners a little better, too. Buzz is a whiz with his gadgets, but woo-wee, can he ever throw a grenade? He's done blown up 2 of those goo monsters. Cooper's an eagle eye at shooting, and I'll make darn sure I stick close to him if ever we get in a firefight again. Now, Dr. Harrow is a shocker. His powers of telekinesis put us all to shame. He lifted that dirty, rotten snake skinwalker clear up into the air and dropped him right down on his head. Remind me to never get on Dr. Harrow's bad side. Dr. Green seems a bit of what my granny would call a common jackroller. I don't know how much of a doctor he is, but I do know I'll be keeping all my valuables tied down when he's around. Poor old goose. I think even with all his suave and mysterious ways, his goose may be cooked. Seems that sophisticated alien contraption he got zapped with may be slowly turning him into some sort of hybrid snake person. But on the bright side, he'll be able to do that neat little illusion trick now. As for me, I'm learning that I'm a lot more sturdy than I thought I was. Never in my life would I've ever dreamed of being in this situation. I don't think anyone in their right mind would. I didn't really get to investigate much of the plant life while we were in Bolivia, but I feel I can be of great help with what knowledge I do have in getting rid of these evil snake vermin. Perhaps putting my head together with Tyranniche and Buzz, we can formulate some contraptions to aid in our new mission with Caduceus. I have a feeling it won't be long now before the other shoe drops.
Excellent. So, we'll say more or less that this is your first day back. We're going to assume, I think you guys had a general consensus that you all wanted to sleep in your own beds. So, we'll start with that you've all gone home, you've refreshed yourself, and you are going to start your day. Let's start with Dr. Jude Harrow. Dr. Jude, what are you going to do today?
Given that I now know that a significant amount of scientific information is hidden from the common pool by this organization. I need to delve into their library and find out what I'm missing. I did not conceive that human beings could possibly have been around so long ago, or where or how, that I now know they have been. And I did not know they were lizard people. And if our new acquaintance doesn't know why her own kind has been diminished, but they're active, that's also something that needs to be researched vitally.
It sounds like today you want to do some research at Caduceus.
You know,
Um, so your describe where you currently live.
so I have a inherited apartment on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. It's maybe antiquated to some minds, but it's comfortable, and it has ample bookshelves. So it's a short trip downtown to visit Caduceus, and
Yeah,
yeah,
because they're in Park Row.
yeah, all I know about their documents is that they aren't terribly well organized. In fact, I might be on the lookout for some proper librarian to install in the place over time, because clearly, if civilization is under threat from unknown circumstances or
Yeah,
organizations or whatever, we need to be able to gather our resources to prepare, for example, the materials that Buzz picked up in South America. If we understood the principles behind them, this place should have, in fact, a mechanical wing just for that sort of purpose. I don't know if they have organized their understanding in that way. Maybe in part because their history as a social organization hasn't prepared them properly for what looks to me to be something like ongoing conflict.
they've you know that they're kind of overwhelmed. They've got fingers in a lot of pies, and yeah, the organization of the materials that they've brought in uh, leaves a lot to be desired. But then again, it's also like a kid in a candy store. You never know what you're going to find in there.
Yeah, they're getting to
Um,
sift through some materials there could lead to any number of useful, surprising understandings.
so when you arrive in the morning, the first person you see is a Miss Hobbs. She's a young woman. She sits behind the main reception desk in the front lobby of the building, and you probably have tags, which would make sense in a building like this. Um, Good morning, Dr. Harrow.
Uh, Thank you. Good morning, Miss Hobbs. No news, I assume?
Um, Not really. There's wars and diseases and all sorts of medical stuff going on. But we are helping when we can.
Indeed. I'm going to be looking for the archives. If anybody should look for me, I expect I'll
Well,
be holed up down there.
you've got uh, you've got green status, so you'll want to use, and she points to a particular elevator. And she says that'll go up to the seventh floor, which is where the archives, the library, the artifacts are stored. Actually, she doesn't know about that. She would say that's one of the green levels. If you're looking for something, it's probably on that level.
Yeah, again, some of my friends who I was with in South America might be following. If anybody looks for me, then you can send them to 7.
All right. Have a nice morning.
To you as
And you
well.
go inside. Uh, Stony Cooper, you get up this morning. What do you do?
Um, so I get up this morning and I have a small basement apartment um, in a not one of the nicer areas of New York City. It's what I can afford, so that's where I'm at. I sit down and I write 2 letters. First letter I write is to mom and dad back in Manitoba. And I write to them about my trip to Bolivia, but I leave out all the weird bits. It's more of just the humanitarian. I've hooked up with this caduceus organization. We're doing humanitarian work. That's the effect of what I say in that letter. And I just ask them, the things you normally would write in letters. How you doing? How's this person, that person? The second letter I write is to, and did I write her name down? Probably did not. Yeah, I did. I write a letter to Emily, and Emily is a girl back home, and it's basically a love letter, is what I write to her. And after I finish composing these letters, I fold them neatly, and I have 2 shoe boxes, one for Emily and one for mom and dad, and I file them away in the shoe boxes, along with all the other letters that I have written but never mailed since 1917, when I walked off the field in Flanders. And I put them back under my bed. So that's kind of how I begin my morning. I go out and I find some breakfast, and I'm actually going to go to see a friend of mine, Big Joe, at the boxing ring. And I'm going to spend some time, most of the morning up into the afternoon, about lunchtime, I'll spend at the boxing ring with Big.
Working out, training.
Working out, training, working with the other boxers, the guys that are trying to go pro. I'm not wanting to go pro, but I'm an enthusiast, so I'm there helping them work their skills, kind of thing.
Right. So as you are working out and training and doing some boxing, there's a new fellow that shows up at the boxing ring. And he's interested in sparring with somebody. He says he can't find a decent sparring partner. That his boxing methods are a little unorthodox, but they seem to be effective. He talks to the manager, and the manager points him in your direction.
Sure.
Introduces himself as Randall Burke. Randall Burke, I trained boxing under a Brazilian fella. Has a bit of a different style than what you might be used to. I promise not to hurt you. Too bad.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't know you that well, so I got to learn your moves a little bit. So if I'm a bit awkward, as a sparring partner, that's why.
All right. So you get into the ring together, and at first everything seems to be uh, exactly what you'd expect from regular boxing. And you realize the way he's looking at you is he's really analyzing how you box. And then as you're approaching the end of before the bell rings, um, he pulls a couple of maneuvers that lay you flat out. And he's good about it. He comes over and he helps you back up. And he gives you some Spanish sounding name. That's what that move is called. And it's gotten me out of a couple of pinches. Come again? And then you box some more. And he keeps doing this, and you realize that he's really good. He knows what he's doing. And there's things you could learn from him if he was willing. He looks too young, though. He looks quite a bit younger than you.
I'm not opposed to learning something from somebody that knows something. So, them some pretty fancy moves you got there. I wouldn't mind knowing how to do that.
Well, I could probably show you. I've got friends too that know quite a lot of other moves that are pretty handy when it comes to a fight. And he spends his time with you that, afternoon or before noon, training together with you. Let's do Dr. Green, Lloyd. What are you up to today, Dr. Lloyd, Dr. Green?
It's the day after everything, correct?
Yeah, it's the day after. Yeah, you've gotten back.
Well, if this is the case, I figured why not? I've kind of missed like one or two of my favorite pastimes, so I thought, just to take the edge off, considering how everything has been going on, I thought maybe I might go check out a couple of horse races today.
Okay. Uh, so you get to the horse races. I'm not sure what time horse races usually start. We'll just say 10 a.m.
Okay.
And as you're sitting there, uh, blending in, which is what you're really good at, you do notice a couple of gangster big shots in the crowd. They look like they're also in the game, in on the race, but it starts to make you nervous because you know that you owe somebody money who owes that guy money who owes that guy money, and that guy is part of the mafia.
Yeah. Okay. So I think at this point I would just be I'm going to keep an eye on them, see necessarily what they're watching, what they're betting on, but also try not to look, like a sore thumb.
All right, do a stealth roll for
Stealth. Okay. It's one of mine that's not that great. I will spend some luck to succeed in that. Okay, so it's just a barely pass.
All right, so
Okay.
there's a couple of moments when you get lucky, because one of them is definitely turned in your direction, laughing with another one, and you manage to sort of nonchalantly move behind the large man that's standing in front of you so that your gaze doesn't meet that guy's gaze.
If it's possible, I also want to walk past someone and just see if I can pick up a hat or something that they're not paying attention to and just kind of like put it on my head and just keep walking. That way people aren't
Yeah.
looking at my face.
And you're pretty sure that the person you saw is commonly called Frank Carroll, but in Italian, Francesco Garofalo. And you're pretty sure he's an underboss for the mafia.
Okay.
and somebody you don't want to cross. What do you do after the races?
Well, during the races, I was wondering if there was any chance to, maybe pick up any extra money that might be lying around, maybe help some people with their new investments, just things like that. But
Yeah. Do you have a roll for that, or do you want to use a luck roll?
would that be like fast talk?
Well, fast talk is trying to lie your way out of something.
Or
Yeah, you can do
perchance
that.
trying to maybe, yeah, okay.
Yeah, trying to use words to trick somebody.
What the hell? I rolled 100,
Ooh.
which really sucks because my fast talk's an 80.
Hey,
Yeah.
so what happens is you pick the
Hey,
wrong
Franny.
person. You pick the wrong person. That person lays his hand on you and starts yelling in anger at you. And that gets some of those mafia guys' attention. And I don't think you'd have any trouble breaking away from the guy, but you scramble.
Yeah.
You're going to have to scramble to get out of there. I'll have you do a luck roll to see if you get away scot-free. Don't roll another 100.
Don't want to. Okay. Ooh. Oh God, not that die. That die is what got me. Do this one.
You scramble, you manage to get away then from
It's a
being
fail.
observed. Oh, you failed.
I
Failed luck.
failed. I rolled an 88 on a 70 luck.
Oof. Okay. So you are trying to scramble through the crowd, and you suddenly find yourself parting through people as you're going along, and suddenly right in front of you is a fellow in the mafia. I think it's Fillmore Casal, and you do owe him money. I think that's who you owe money. And he's like, uh, Chucky, Chucky Green, and he reaches out and grabs a hold of you by the shirt, and he says, "Where's my money?"
Hey, Phil, I was just looking for you. It was good seeing you. It's kind of, yeah, I've been looking for you all over the place and everything. How you been? How's the wife? How's the kids?
Never mind that.
Oh, come on. Didn't your daughter just get married? Like, yeah, that's going. And I'm looking around everything for any way to slip out of here. Mostly just trying to talk and keep him just going.
Well, I mean, be creative. You could punch him in the face, but this guy is the kind of guy that would beat the shit out of you or probably kill you for doing it.
Is there like
He
a crowd
starts
of people
he
or something that's like
Yeah,
going
there's
behind me
there's
that I can?
literally a crowd all around you. Yeah, but he's got you by the shirt, and he's starting to push you back towards like an area of the stadium where it's a little more private.
I actually,
Scared stiff.
the crowd and go like, oh, they're pulling me away.
You froze. Sorry. Say that again.
Okay, no, that's fine. Yeah, so like he's pulling on me and I'm just kind of trying to get like swallowed up into the crowd to get pulled away and make it look like they're trying to pull me away. It's like, oh, it's good seeing you, Phil, and trying to like
Like,
get pulled
like, don't
away.
try to get away from me. He
No,
says,
no,
"We
no,
got
I'm trying. I'd like,
business."
I'll catch you later. And yeah, I'm just trying to break away from him at this point.
Okay, do a strength roll. Give me a opposed strength roll.
Oh, for the love of God, it's not good. That was a pass.
How well of
If
a
I need to, I can
pass?
make it a hard. I can make it a hard if I think it will help.
I rolled an 8, which would mean you'd have to probably make it an extreme. Um, Yeah.
You know what? Oh, yeah, I'm not going to spend that much luck. I guess he's got me.
Look, where you going? Where you going? Come on, come on. We gotta talk.
Oh,
He
okay, Phil.
says
Yeah.
he really puts on the intimidation. Um, he's like, look, I've been trying to give you some leeway, but you owe me quite a bit, and you
What was that
disappeared.
last figure? It was like $20, right? I think I got that on me.
Yeah, $20, more like 20, more like $2,000, two
I
grand.
knew. Are you sure about that? I knew I had a two in there somewhere.
I'll talk to my accountant about it, but
Yeah, and then maybe we can
and
catch up later and take care of that.
he starts squeezing a little, and he says, "Look," he says, "the boss might have something he wants you to do, and you're going to have to. He might overlook the debt if you're willing to do it, but you're going to have to meet with him."
Oh, well, I mean, my schedule's kind of full right now. I mean, I actually just got a new job. I'm going on the straight and narrow now, Phil. And yeah, uh, what kind of job is it though?
Well, I don't know. You're going to have to talk to Joe about it. And by Joe, he means Joe Bonanno, the big shot, the big boss in New York right now, the boss of bosses. And he says, where can I find you to arrange that? And you don't want to miss it, because if you miss it, nobody's going to miss you.
Uh, well, I mean, there's a hotel nearby where I've been staying at. I mean, I've got kind of a sweet deal going on. So I've just been staying there. But I mean, is it going to be
Look,
soon? I mean, like I said, new job. I might not be around. Like I need to know when and what's going on. And
look, I'm going to set it up. I'll set it up for, say, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. at Maestro's on 34th Street. And he
oh,
shoves you against the wall pretty hard.
what a
And then
coincidence! My schedule
he
is really
turns
open on that time.
he turns around and dusts himself off and walks back into the crowd.
Son of a bitch. Okay, and I'm just kind of there. I start like fixing my shirt, and I just start looking around. That didn't go quite as how I wanted it. Could have went worse though. And I just put
They could
on
have
a big
shot you.
smile, and I just put on a big smile, and I walk towards the crowd and everything, and I go back to work.
You're going to go back to work on the crowd.
Yeah.
All right. Uh, Fern, let's talk about your morning.
Mm. Well, she's pretty set in her routine once she got back to her apartment in Brooklyn. She's got a penthouse, but it's not like super fancy. I mean, she's well off, but it's a moderate size building. And she's getting her morning coffee, doing her morning ablutions. And first thing that she's going to do is go up onto the roof. She had a deal with the building owner that she could have a little greenhouse up there. So she's going to check on all her plants, make sure that her maid that she hired was watering them and taking care of them while she was away. And everything's looking pretty good. Um, she has been thinking about what she was told at the meeting at Caduceus and also things that Tyrannish said. And she's wondering what kind of plants would be poisonous or repellent to snakes. So that's kind of been working in her mind a little bit. and she's wanting to go research that at Caduceus's library, perhaps get the history, if she can, on snakes and things that the ancient peoples used for perhaps repelling or poisoning them.
So when you go to Caduceus in the morning, the first person, of course, you see is Miss Hobbs, and she greets you the way she always does, checks your card and all that, and sends you up to 7, where Dr. Jude is. Did you want to just look yourself, or did you want to talk to anybody else there? Remember that Dr. Shapiro is a medical doctor and seems to know quite a bit of stuff.
Okay. Well, medical he may be. I don't know if he knows much about the effects of, plants on
Poisons.
snakes. But she could certainly stop by and have a chat with him.
So you're interested, Miss Meadows, on toxins that can be used against snakes. Well, there's quite a few of them. One of the difficulties is that the snakes don't usually eat any kind of plant. They eat meat. Let me show you a few things. And he takes you in through the archives. You see Dr. Jude there looking at books. And he takes you to one of the artifact rooms. And he says, take a look at this. And he shows you a box. The box is about 9 inches by 9 inches. And it's very ornate, obviously snake person design. And he opens it up, and there are 5 little vials that are in it. And he says, we don't really know what the composition of these are, but they're labeled, and they're labeled in snake person. He says, the box says, these are the 5 deadly venoms, and they're labeled. One of them is labeled desiccation, which we believe that if it's introduced into anybody, a person or a snake person, that it causes them to dry up and probably die in a most horrible way. The second one is the dissolving venom. Similar effects, but a little bit more gruesome. They dissolve. The third one is dangerous. It's explosive. If it's ingested within a few minutes, the person explodes. The fourth one seems to be something that destroys the mental faculties. It eats away at the brain, making the person completely docile, if you will, but irrevocably, it destroys the brain. And the final one is maybe the most gruesome of all. It'll cause skin to fall off. It says skin shedding. Now, we don't know what the actual composition of how these are made, and we don't have a lot of it. These are all samples here. But
Well, is Miss Terniche knowing that you have these?
Miss Teraniche doesn't know anything. She just arrived yesterday with you. We don't know yet how much we can trust her. She's being interrogated, if you will.
Oh, well, my truthful opinion is I don't think she means us any harm, and she is a scientist. If anybody's going to know about these venoms, she certainly would.
Well, it would seem that way. We don't even know if these are from the same period of time that she is. Um, Nevertheless, and also they're untested. These are labeled as such, but I would not be opposed to you taking them for analysis and seeing if in fact there is some vegetable. I mean, it might actually be venom of certain snakes, but as far as I don't know, any snakes that are on our planet right now can't produce these effects. So most likely it's a toxin and it's just colloquially named,
Okay.
venom.
Now, are the vials, are they sealed very well, or are they just like little glass stoppers on the top or something?
Yeah, they're not like what we would get in a medicine store, but you can see that they can be opened and closed. Apparently only a drop in a on food or in water will do the job.
Well, with the dangerousness of these, I think we need to put this in something a little more sturdy, so I wouldn't want to accidentally spill any of this.
Well, talk to yeah, you probably don't want to get it on your hands.
Yeah.
It's just one of the many things that we have that, we don't have time to analyze. I thought you might be interested since you're interested in that sort of thing. You were asking about toxins.
Oh,
Um,
100%. I just, I don't have a great lab. We have a lab here.
we have a lab in
The,
the basement. Yeah,
well, I would
second level
certainly be
basement.
willing to work with these. I just have to make sure I have the proper protection.
Of course. Um, I'll have to get you clearance for that, but that shouldn't be too hard.
Okay,
I'll
maybe
have
it'd
to
be
talk to the
safer
people down there.
instead of me transporting them. Maybe you could have them sent to the lab for me so that way I don't have to worry about jostling them around or anything.
All right. I mean, yeah, sure. Um, anyways, and if you have any other questions or you can look through the books. I see Dr. Harrow in there. He's looking through materials. Um, you can practice your
Not call.
yeah, nakal, yeah. Um, anyways, make yourself at home.
Well, thank
And
you.
he
I think I will go check out some books, find me some. I don't know if we can find anything about Knock but certainly try.
excellent. Jack, you went back to your lab, to your mechanical, uh, your
I went back to my shop.
your shop. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Um, you arrived back here last night. Um, what did you talk to your assistant about?
Um, I mean, Breaky is my best friend in the world. She's there for everything. I tell her everything. She is up to speed on everything because I mean, there's no one else in the world that I trust more than Frankie.
Yeah, Jack, I believe everything you say, but it's a lot to take in.
I know it is.
Are you sure they're not just fucking with you?
I mean, they could be. It could be some weird head trip, this whole thing, but I don't know. There's a lot out there in the world that I've seen the past, few weeks that I hadn't even thought of before.
Yeah, snake people. Who'd
Yeah.
guess that? Um, of course, this is New York. I'm surprised it's not rat people.
Yeah, well, I'd probably be ready for that.
Cockroach people. Uh, well, so these are some pretty strange looking things you brought in here.
Yeah, this
Uh,
one this one here it was part of some like big glass sphere thing, and I swear for a moment I could think about it real hard and make it kind of do what I wanted. a little
That's
bit.
crazy. So like magic, like mind control.
Something like that, yeah. Which there's a guy that I guess I work with now that has a little bit of that. He can move things with his mind.
Well,
Dropped a grown man on his head. Snake
let's
man.
let's let's set up some experiments and let's see if we can reproduce this. So over the course of a couple of hours, and actually you probably work late into the night just because you're fascinated by it all. Um, she says, so if the thing can fly, she says, I think there's a problem with the whole idea. She says, because you're inside this glass sphere and the thing accelerates, you're going to be smashed into the glass sphere as it accelerates. There's no chair or anything.
Yeah.
So what's keeping you from getting smashed? It's strange.
It is. I don't remember seeing any kind of like harness or anything laying in all the wreckage either that would hold someone in place.
And can't even begin to ask how it works. And what are these green rocks? This oh, did you bring that with you or did you leave it there?
The snake eye ones,
Yeah.
I probably left those just because I know if I accidentally got one working and shot myself with it, I'd be, with Goose in the state of things.
You also seem to be able to have access to all
Yeah.
of that stuff at Caduceus anyway. So you were given a direct order not to discuss with anybody, but you discussed it with Frankie. Is there anything you want to do? I mean, to ensure that this doesn't become a problem.
I don't think that's something that I worry about because me and Frankie have business dealings with, some bad people in New York on the side, and we keep a tight lid on that. So I think we're good at keeping our secrets and keeping stuff we need to keep to ourselves. So I think one thing
And
I do want to work with her on, as we're kind of hit a roadblock on the alien tech or whatever. I've told her about how I've blown up a few things down there, and she's good about. I mean, that's kind of her specialty is like explosives, and so I'm like, Frankie, I need to come up with something because I mean, I've the amounts of times I've had to use dynamite and grenades down there is more than I would have thought. So I just wanted you to think about it for a little bit. I need something to, because I can only throw so far, and I need something to like project these explosives. But I need it to be like multi-purpose. Can I show her one of my bottles of that toxic plant goo? It was like, I'd like for it also to like shoot this too. I'd like multi-purpose. I can load whatever in there and it propel it out. Grenade, dynamite, bottle of goo.
some sort of some sort of throw gun.
Yeah, but it needs to be compact or something that like can telescope down or something. I don't know.
Well,
Something
let's
to
get
think
some
about.
sleep and maybe in the morning we can work on
Yeah.
coming up, drawing some designs up for something like that. So the next morning, when you guys finish breakfast, finish doing that, what did you want to do? Did you want to go into Caduceus and
After breakfast, I probably knock around a little bit on whatever cars are in there just to do something normal, get back to normal for just a couple hours and then probably head back to Caduceus to see where everybody's at. I also, at some point, want to talk to Miss Meadows about, what other plants here or that she has access to that we could weaponize.
so once you get back to Caduceus, you go up to Miss Hobbs And she's like, good morning, Mr. Bellamy. I've got a message for you. And she hands you a letter, and the name on it, it's got your name on it. You open it up, and it's from Quentin Shapiro.
Okay.
And he says, we've got a little project for you. Come up to my office on 7. So you get up to 7 and you get to his office, and you probably notice Dr. Harrow and Fern in amongst the books. Mr. Bellamy, Buzz, is it? Come on in, sit down. We've got something we thought, you're mechanical and you seem to be doing really good at it. Well, first of all, if I want to say that some of those sketches and plans you had for the radio, we've sent them up to 8, and they're working on that sort of project. But we got a little thing we want to show you. Well, it's not a little thing. He takes you, you get in the elevator, you go down into the basement, and there's an area it's I guess you'd call it, there's labs on one side and there's storage rooms on one side.
Yeah.
And as you're walking along, you go by one stretch where there's like a wall, there's a window, there's a door, and you can see into the rooms beyond. And you can see that they've decorated this whole area very much like the tomb in the pyramid. And Tiranish is in there. She's sitting on a chair, and there's a couple of people across from her that are asking her questions and writing notes down. You can't hear, but you can see that they're talking to her. He takes you past that, and he takes you to a storeroom and opens it up. And there's various bits of, looks like scientific equipment here and there. And he takes you over, and there's one that's draped with drape over it. And he pulls it off, and this machine, it looks like a very sophisticated piece of scientific equipment. You immediately realize that parts of it kind of look like stuff you're familiar with, and parts of it definitely look alien. Well, not really alien, but serpent person, probably.
Yeah.
The whole thing is about 6 by 6 by 6, sort of cubicle. And there are all kinds of tubes and gears and things that are on it. And there's a place where there are a number of what look like fancy petri dishes. And he says, this is what we have named a viral analyzer, or a biological analyzer. It doesn't work. It seems like we tried putting distilled water into it, and it basically came across as telling us that it had anthrax.
Okay.
And we did a natural test to see if there was anthrax, and there wasn't. So something's wrong with it. It's misanalyzing. The thing is supposed to be able to analyze biological samples and give information on them. It's more sophisticated than any kind of medical instrument that we've got. It's actually kind of a hybrid, because we've attached things to it to make it easier for humans to do. However, all of the internal mechanisms and everything are written in Naka'al. And he turns around just as somebody comes to the door. He says, "This is Dr. Gonsalves. He's actually our head of medical. Dr. Gonsalves. He's like, oh, yes, you brought him in. Dr. Gonsalves has actually written a working manual for the machine, but it's too much for us to work on right now, and we want to see if you can get it working properly.
Yeah, I mean, I can get in there and try to figure out what makes it do its thing and how you've connected, human stuff to it, and see what I can
And
enhance.
And Dr. Gonsalves says, well, it's extremely sophisticated, so you need to keep meticulous records of everything you do for it. But here's the manual I've written so far. And he pulls out something that's basically the size of a giant dictionary. It's that thick, 3,000 pages.
It's a big book.
And he says, yeah, and it's a work in progress. But here, take this, see what you can make of it, and see if you can get it working properly. It might come in handy.
All right, yeah, I'll take a look at it and get to reading this book and see if I can figure out what is what in there.
Excellent. And Dr. Gonsalves shakes your hand, and he says, if you need me, you'll have to have me paged, because I'm usually on one of the higher floors. So, have fun with it, see what you can come up with.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he leaves. You notice right away that although it's a big thing, it does look possibly mobile, that there's a way that you could easily pick this up with a forklift. You could possibly roll it. It looks like there's retractable wheels, but normally it needs to be perfectly level, and there's a lot of odd parameters to it.
Yeah.
All right, Gustav. Gustav, you are feeling very strange because what happened to you, and your back is starting to itch a little bit. What do you do this morning when you get up?
Probably gonna head to the speakeasy of my father that's in New York, the Drunken Windmill. Probably more in the afternoon I'm going there, but yeah.
So what would you like to do in the morning?
I would like to look for Buzz. I think he's out, but I would try and look for him to talk to him about accelerating the process of turning into a snake. Because if it's very painful, I just might as well rip the Band-Aid off.
You go to his shop, you find Frankie, and Frankie says that he's already headed into Caduceus. You should be able to meet him there.
Okay. So I'll follow up on that lead first.
Okay. So you head over to Caduceus, and you get the information. You're pretty sure checks up on 7. But you get up to 7 and you find Dr. Harrow and Fern, and they say that Jack and Dr. Shapiro left a little while ago. If you don't know where they were going.
I'm gonna just walk around Caduceus for a bit then, and kind of get a feel for the people here and for the building. Like, I've heard there was a mole. Might like get a feel for if I see anybody acting suspicious or taking a little too many notes or something like that.
Well, I mean, if you're there for just a little while, sort of looking around, eventually you see Dr. Shapiro,
Okay.
and he comes back upstairs and heads towards his office. Want to talk to him?
Mr. Shapiro, I was looking for Buzz.
Oh,
For,
Buzz is downstairs in one of the lab levels, looking at some machinery that we want to see if he can repair. Um, is there anything I can do for you?
no, I'll see if I can find them there.
All right. So he says, he gives you directions. Go down the elevator, and go to that particular lab. So within a few minutes, you come into the same room that Buzz is, and you see Buzz is slowly, carefully removing the back panels from this very large, complicated-looking machine.
Oh, Buzz, working on some new project, I see.
Oh yeah, they hold on a second, set that panel down, wipe my hands, like they want me to work on this thing as some sort of biological scanner analyzer thing. They've kind of done some stuff to it to make it work a little better with humans. So I'm just trying to figure out, it keeps giving wrong readings, so I'm just poking around in there trying to figure out what wires are crossed or what cogs not turning right.
All right. Sounds like a thing for you.
It's what I love to do.
Have you had a chance to look at the emerald yet? Like how we might,
I haven't, but I look
that,
forward to it. I do want to figure out how that works. It, just shoots out light and turns you into, well, you know.
if you want to tinker on it and you need like someone to test it on or a subject to see if it works, just hit me up. I'm
Yeah.
always available.
Yeah, they say it's a long process that painful, that if we can speed it up, at least all the pain would be at once and be done with.
That's what I'm hoping for. Still not looking forward to it too much, but it might have some advantages. And I point towards the room that I just went through where Tyrannies is giving her lecture.
So what's it feeling like?
It's
Changing.
kind of it's kind of itchy. Feels like, I mean, I'm used to changing outfits. This is kind of like that, only a little more intense than usual.
I basically wear the same shirt every day. So can
It
I
feels, Gustav, a little bit like you're wearing wool.
Okay, I'll convey that. It's like I'm wearing wool.
can I look at where you got shot?
I mean, sure.
Take a peek at it.
I'll just,
So,
pull,
Buzz,
pull my shirt back a bit.
when you're looking at it, you notice something interesting. You notice that right where the shot was, the skin is almost completely healed. Um, there's a layer of black scales, almost in a rosette around where the wound was. And they get progressively smaller as you move away from the center of where it is. Um, do you touch it at all?
I don't think so. I think I
Well,
just look, or not intentionally touch it.
you notice that there is definitely a transition, that it moves slowly from black scales to, lighter brown scales that get smaller and smaller and smaller, but you don't really see an end to it. His whole shoulder by this point might have scales, except that they're so tiny and pink that they just look like his skin. Like it is spreading. It's most definitely spreading.
It doesn't hurt any, just itching.
I kind of like wearing a wool sweater.
Mm. Yeah, yeah.
I think the real itch is coming once we have prepared.
Yeah, well, I mean, give me another hour or two of this thing, and then find me, and we can go take a look at the big emeralds and the machinery that was with it, and see if we can figure it out. Maybe Tyrannish can get away for a little bit and help us look at it too.
That sounds like a good idea. I might just talk to her already now and see if there is anything she knows while you do your thing.
Yeah, just give me an hour or so to kind of get my mind wrapped around this thing, and then, I'll be ready for a break and work on something new.
All right, all right. So I'll walk back to where Tyrannish is giving a lecture and answering questions and ask her if she'll have some time.
Well, just as you get to that room, you notice the two people that were in there coming out, and they're chatting to one another, and they close the door and they walk in the opposite direction away from you. So you assume at this point she's in there alone.
Guess it's my lucky day. So I'll just go in.
All right. You open up the door, you go inside, and she's like got a basin and she's splashing water on herself. And she says, "Oh, please, no more questions." And she turns around to see you and she goes, "Oh, my rescuer."
In the living flesh, or should I say scales?
Ah, so you're changing.
I am. That's why I wanted to talk to you a bit. Buzz, our companion that also was there. He's
Yes.
going to look at the emerald to speed up the process or help me get over it. And we were wondering if there's any tips or.
Well, that's one way to do it. There's other ways. I don't know. We'd have to find the right materials to do it. But yeah, I mean, Caduceus has got me kind of restricted down here. And she says they're trying, I guess, and she looks around and you see that there's the paintings of bits of history and stuff from the people. And she says it's kind of sparse, no plant life. They've given me those. And she points over in there, and there's a little cage with a few guinea pigs in it. Which she says they've given me those. They're tasty, but they're hardly what I'm used to.
That's not.
One can't expect them to know that the I suppose tasty food has gone for me for good.
I mean, what kind of plants do you like? I can see if I can bring some plants in.
Well, flowers are always lovely.
I'll pick up some nice flowers for you next time. And so you eat these guinea pigs. Is there anything I should be worrying about or changing in my diet once the process is complete, or?
You're going to be a hybrid, so you're going to have options. You can continue to eat human food, but you might find it less palatable than you used to. But that might be a long way off. If the process follows, and she says, "May I see?"
Oh, sure. And I'll show her my shoulder again.
She says the process was designed so that it would change your I'm going to say DNA, but you know what, she doesn't use that term, but she says it's changing your DNA. The process that's somewhat painful is having all of your DNA transformed over. But after that, you should look mostly the same as you do now, except that if you are physically wounded, anything that's damaged will come back with the black scales instead of your natural skin. And you should have some regeneration properties. If you lose a limb, it should grow back, but it will grow back slowly and it'll grow back black as a serpent. You might also start to grow a tail, but it'll take a while for that to happen.
And I hope never to lose a limb anyway, but and for the magic or the changing of skins of looking like other people, is there anything I can do to prepare? Or I'll just basically, ask her, because that's what I'm looking forward to the most, like how I can start
And she
preparing
says,
now
well,
if possible. I'm sorry.
she says, I could explain it if you had the scientific knowledge that we had and understood our terms. To you, it's going to sound like magic. So we might as well just, for you, call it magic. There are different levels. On the most basic level, what you would have to do is, I'm trying to be delicate because, we're from different cultures. So it might seem offensive, but just hear me out. You would have to kill someone, and you would have to perform something called consume likeness. You know that serpents eat live food. It's a matter of absorbing the DNA of that person. Once you've done that, you would be able to appear as that person. However, you could be found out fairly easily. If you sustained an injury, the skin would be your own skin underneath, and your shadow would give you away as well. There's a more sophisticated version of that spell, if we're going to call it that you would have to be more transformed in order to utilize it, and it would take some studying and practice to master. But it still involves killing somebody and taking their shape. You wouldn't have to, it's still you still have to consume. And then the highest level, which is the one that I tend to use, it takes the form without actually killing the person outright. And at that level, you can retain the DNA. So you can switch back and forth between forms. If you have consumed 5 people, then you can switch between the 5 people what you want to look like. And like I say, I could explain the science and the biology of it, but I don't think that you'd understand.
And I don't need to understand, just as long as I know how to work it. That's the most important part.
It might seem gruesome to you, but I can teach you how to do these things.
I would very much like that.
I would be most grateful if you could somehow petition that I could have some more freedom in this. They seem to want to keep me here. They seem to believe that wandering about is going to cause all kinds of problems. And I'm not so sure that's true, but I'm not the security person, so I'm a captive once again.
I'll lower my voice a little and say, can you not just, assume the form of one of the scientists here and just try and, go for a stroll? But I'll definitely see what I can do for you as well. You know,
There-
you might want to have it more officially done.
yeah, there's some ethical problems with doing that. Obviously,
I'll
I don't
I'll
want to consume someone.
I thought you could do it without, but I'll definitely talk. I'll get you some flowers first, and I'll talk to Dr. Shapiro.
Other than that, you probably get if you continue to chat with her, she tells you all sorts of interesting and wonderful stories about the snake civilization and things it could do. And
My heritage, the snake civilization.
you will definitely be tougher than you were. Your snake skin will be tougher than your human skin.
I'm pretty
You'll
tough
also,
already, so that's insane. But yeah, that's cool.
she says, I can already smell the pheromones. So you're uh, a lot of times, she says, at least in her day and age, a lot of their security was based on whether you were a snake person or not. Such detectors would think that you were a snake person or almost a snake person at this point. Once you've transferred, you'll register as snake person. You wouldn't set off any
And
alarms.
this was widespread, this technology, so we can assume our contemporary enemy has this same technology, right?
Oh,
That
I don't
might.
know. It seems like the current level of snake technology has sunk terribly. Um,
But it's okay. But I'll keep that in mind if I ever, get into their hideout. They might have some tech like that. They might not have, but it's always good to, plan for things.
it's going to be a different world for you once your senses are heightened. Your sense of
It's
smell is going to get very powerful. And she flicks out her tongue. All right,
okay.
Dr. Harrow and Fern, you guys are in the library looking about. Um, Aside from numerous texts and things, most of it not having anything to do with snake people, um, you do find a couple of texts. They're obscure things written by scientists and philosophers that were regarded by their peers as crackpots, you know, for even suggesting such a thing. Uh, you get general backgrounds on what Caduceus has learned of the supposed history. Caduceus' opinion is that so much of it is spanned over such a large period of time that it's probably 90% mythological. And, who keeps that kind of record, especially over 240 million years? So it's all
Uh,
viewed with skepticism.
is there anything we can learn about the inner night? How long they've been using that? What this Zathagua deity wants?
What you learn
If we have
about,
an enemy, yeah.
what you learn is that there was a period, maybe 100,000 years ago, where religion started to creep into the snake people. Specifically, a number of religions, but the two major ones were the followers of Yig and the followers of Satagua.
Mm.
And Yig is a serpent. He's the father of serpents. Um, they believe that serpent people were made in his image, just the same way that we believe we were made in God's image. Satagua seems to be some sort of usurping god of the darkness. Um, he's hideous. He's frog-like. He's bat-like. He's hairy. and he sleeps down in subterranean caves and tends to eat anyone who comes near him. But for some reason, the whole faction of snake people became enamored of this, and um, they were the antagonists. They do not respect any life other than their own, and that they were planning on trying to wipe out all life above ground and then coming back up and reclaiming the earth and starting over. And that seems to be their primary mission, although they obviously haven't succeeded in any manner so far. How they're planning on doing that, I think they're looking for ideas.
And that's the problem with new technologies. We have invented things that can clear great wastes on the Earth's surface. So if they could get a hold of these technologies, they would be more menacing.
A couple times you see Dr. Shapiro go to his office and then go out somewhere and then come back again. He goes by one time, he's like, how are y'all doing? You finding anything interesting? Any questions I can ask?
I think I found a book on some plants that may be helpful in my research for finding what snakes don't necessarily like. And I'm thinking about cross-referencing that with some vials that Dr. Shapiro gave me to see if they match up. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was Dr. Jude. I'm sorry. With the vials that you gave me to see if they match up with any of those.
Well, if you need certain resources, let us know. I mean, we can't necessarily just fly you anywhere, but then again, there's sometimes there reasons to fly you somewhere. We could put you on certain projects that get you where you need to go.
Have these particular vials been, has there been efforts to reproduce them, or have they been analyzed in modern spectromatic ways?
I don't think they've looked at them at all, Dr. Harrow. They're very caustic.
And it was just something that we ran across a few years ago that's been sitting there in the archives. Miss Meadows just mentioned poisons or toxins, and that's the first thing that popped into my mind. What's that artifact?
Well, my main concern is if they affect any organic matter. I would want to be doing some experiments with them to see exactly how they affect humans versus serpents and the like. But if I can extract things from them that are not harmful to us, then perhaps our group can use them without us catching the harm off of them.
Well, he comes closer and sort of leans in, and he says, look, he says, we're obviously running up against some very, very serious and dangerous things that the general public doesn't know about. There are certainly ethical problems to testing things on people.
Oh, no. I assumed we could maybe, like they use at the universities, cadavers and such. I'm assuming they just work on organic material and not necessarily it has to be alive.
Well, in that case, I think that could easily be arranged. I think there are services that can provide cadavers. We could work, well, we're practically in the hospital business, so we could easily work with that. Yeah, I'll look into that. I'll see what I can find out. So that must have been quite frightening and thrilling to have found that pyramid and oof.
I mean, you've met Teranish. It's
Yeah,
for
she's
those of
interesting.
us who didn't know that we were not the only intelligent beings on the planet, that was very.
Yeah. Humans have a lot of arrogance.
Oh.
I would like the two of you to do spot hidden roles.
I'm not sure I like that. Oh,
I failed both of those.
I rolled a
Yeah.
90. Apparently, we're distracted.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing, I mean, you've been chatting now with Shapiro on and off for a couple of days. And you do notice that he doesn't look very comfortable in a suit, you know? Not like, I'm not suggesting that he's something other than just a dude, but he's a little overweight and he tends to be kind of sweaty, even though he doesn't want to be sweaty. Um, the room up here is not, it's not cold, but it's not hot either. Um, he wipes his brow every once in a while with a handkerchief, and he doesn't look comfortable in his suit. Like he's really he's packed himself into his suit.
Yeah, I think Fern, when she notices this, she goes, "Oh yeah, woo-wee, it is a bit warm in here. I might have overdressed with this jacket and everything. I wonder, do we need to dress businesslike for Caduceus, or can we wear more casual clothes here?"
I think you can wear whatever you like, Miss Meadows. I'm part of the professional end of it, so I kind of have to dress. You know, one day maybe I'll be able to come to work in a t-shirt, but
Oh
Under-
yeah, it's got to be stifling with all the get-up on.
yeah, well, he's dressed like a doctor, so with a tie and a shirt and a robe and all that other stuff. Well, anyways, once again, if you have any questions, I'm always available. Your friends are here as well.
We
Buzz
should-
and Gustav are downstairs.
We should get together for a meal. Now that as we are all recovering from the astonishing things we experienced, you mentioned something about being able to arrange for some sort of telephony that was not
Oh yeah, you meant radios,
Yes.
hand radios. Yeah, you'll want to talk to our quartermaster. Quartermaster is on the seventh floor. Any equipment, anything that you need, you talk to him and he'll get it for you.
Miss Meadows, should we go to see Mr. Connors and see about this handheld radios business? I think it would be very useful to be able to be in touch with everyone else.
Oh, absolutely. I would love to have a press of a button, be able to talk to y'all and not have to be in the same room.
Yes, let's go see him then.
Right. Lloyd and Stoney, are you heading into the office?
Yes.
All right.
I would be heading in. Yeah. Long productive
We'll see
day.
you see each other in the lobby. Lloyd, you've pilfered what you can. Nowhere near what you need to pay off the mafia, but we'll see you meet in the elevator. You heading up?
Yes.
Hey, Stoney.
Hey, Lloyd, how's it going?
It's going well. It feels much better here than it did back in the jungle. I can honestly say that. It's so nice being back around more civilized people.
Yeah, the concrete jungle is definitely a little advantageous in some ways, but not so in others. There's still a lot of predators here in New York City.
But it doesn't seem like many of them are too drugged up and chasing us with machine guns, so I am much happier about that.
Very true. Very true.
Well,
So where are
apologize,
you
forgot my
guys?
glasses.
Where are you guys heading? You figure everybody's up on 7. They're not, but you probably figure they are.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was going to go up to 7 and see who was there, and
Okay.
eventually wander around and find everybody.
You
I
get
want
up
to
to
do the
7.
same thing.
Okay. You get up to 7 and walk out, and once again, you probably bump into Fern and Dr. Harrow just as they're getting ready to walk out. You don't see Gustav or Buzz.
Oh, hey,
Buzz likes to.
Howdy, boys.
how's it going?
Pretty good. How's your morning been?
Great. I had a great boxing
Been
experience
nice
this
and
morning.
productive. Much studying.
Yeah, that's what we've been doing. We were down the archives trying to look up snaky things.
Find anything interesting?
Well,
You
a
know,
little bit. Trying to get some ideas that maybe I can throw to Buzz later on. We're heading over to Quartermaster's right now, though. We're going to pick up those little communication devices they was telling us they were going to distribute among us.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
for such an ancient civilization, we know remarkably little. But perhaps that's because they've been divided and also hidden from us for so long.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, we do have, our distinguished guest here. I'm sure she would be able to enlighten us on anything that we might be missing when it comes to the civilization that she's a part of.
I certainly hope so. How is your study of the Akal coming along? I imagine you've got a basic breakdown of the pictograms and sounds now that we've gotten access to so much more information than we had when we initially uncovered it. How,
Well,
for
it's coming
example,
along
would you
quite well,
say,
I would.
oh, is it? Brilliant. So how would you say, for example, if you were to run across another of her people, could you say, I worship Father Yig?
Well, that might be a little bit difficult because there are many different conjugations at which you can go into the language. So it really depends on like the scenario in which you have it, and it is rather dependent on the situation. So it's not exactly something so easy to use. However, if we're ever in a situation, I'd be more than happy to show you at which the proper way which you would.
Let's see.
Dr. Green, you can do a fast talk roll against Dr. Jude's intelligence to see if
Oh, come on.
he doesn't
Yeah,
see
good luck.
through that.
Could be good. That is, let me see. That's 40. That is an extreme success.
Ooh, and I got a 13, so we're really down to it. That's extreme for intelligence, yeah.
In which case, I think that, yeah, you seem to have gotten away with it, but Dr. Harrow is really skeptical.
Oh.
You
Yes.
sound a
Well,
little more like a politician than a,
Am I able to tell how skeptical he is?
yeah, well, he's giving you the fuzzy eyeball.
Am I able to tell how skeptical he is? or is
Yeah.
and how
Yeah.
have your studies been and everything, Dr. Haro? Have you been? And plus, I would also, while we're mentioning studies and everything, I am very keen into seeing how you acquired your ability to, I don't know, what's the term they use? Telekinesis, I believe. And at this point, I'm looking for wires on him still. Like I believe he's as big of a liar and a crook as I am.
I began to have these experiences after I was injured in the war. I think that there might be a structural component to what happened to me that makes it not possible for everyone. And yet I am curious about what Caduceus has on this as well. So many things we know so little about.
Yeah, I
Well, it
think
seems
as
like we're in the best place to learn.
they're standing there discussing, Fern's got her own scheme. She pulls out her notebook and she writes down the symbols that were on that box of vials. She already knows what they mean. And she writes them down and she's like, now, Dr. Green, I saw this box earlier and um, these symbols were written on it, and I think they each have their own particular meaning. I'd like you to have a look at them for me. Maybe you can make heads or tails of them.
Okay. I have no idea how I'm going to do this. I'm really going to need to figure out what I need to roll for this. I want to lean down to look like I'm reading, and I want to drop my glasses on the floor on accident and then accidentally step on them.
Oh, how unfortunate.
Yeah, I'd say you just do that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Fern. I seem to have, I'm a bit of a klutz. I seem to have dropped my glasses. Would we be able to table this for another time?
Oh, yes, of course, dear. Maybe they have a eye center here that you can go get your prescription filled.
That'd be very much convenient.
Yeah,
At that
maybe
point-
you can get like a strap to go around the back of your head.
At that
Hold 'em
point, the elevator behind you opens up, and a man steps out of it who looks very, I don't know, I'd say rather grim looking. Looks like he's a fairly dark-skinned Italian. Dr. Green, when you look at him, you flinch just a little because, I mean, he does look like the kind of rough sort of fellow that's in the mafia, but you can't imagine how he would have gotten in the building. He steps out of the elevator and he says, which one of you is Dr. Lloyd Green?
And I pat him on the back
that
and
would
I
be
say,
me.
this guy right here.
And he says, Mr. Green, I need to speak with you in my office. My name is Frank DeLuca. I'm head of security. Could you come with me?
Yes. Yes, Mr. DeLuca. I'd be happy to. Like I said, Fern, I'd be happy to look at that at a time when we can, and I'll catch up with you a lot earlier. If one of you would like to grab me one of those devices, I can meet up with you and we can figure that out at that point.
Oh, sure. You go take care of your business now.
How do you suppose he imagines he's going to check up with us earlier?
Mr. Green, please. He gets you in the
Yes.
elevator.
And I straighten my vest up and I just walk in.
He seems to take you up one level to 8, and then walks you down a hallway to a private office. He says, please have a seat. He says, first off, we need to talk. I am the head of security, and I don't like you. I read the report that Ursini gave about you. He was well aware that you were basically a criminal, a con man, as he calls you. But he felt that your skills would be quite useful in our business. What I want to get straight with you is, if so much as one thing goes missing from this building, you're going to be held accountable for it. So I need you to do what you do what skills he thought you'd be useful for, but you don't do any of that to us. Do you understand?
Mr. DeLuca, I'm not sure what impression you have of me at this point, but
I don't have an
you have
impression.
nothing
I have a
to
report.
fear
And
from my.
he puts the report on the table. He says, "We know all of your dealings here. You don't think that we didn't research you thoroughly before we vetted you?"
I just reach over to look at the report and I thumb through it.
It's got 99% of everything that you think. Well, maybe 80% of everything that you've gotten away with. He says, "Look, we don't care, but don't think that you can get away with walking away with an artifact or with something that you think you're going to sell on the black market, because ain't going to happen."
As I said, Mr. DeLuca, I'm not sure the impression. I apologize if it seems that we have gotten off on the wrong foot. But as I said, there's nothing that you need worry about me. I'm a man of my word. I promise nothing will happen when I am
Well, I don't
around.
take people at their word. I will be watching you. And I
Thank
have
you.
eyes that can see you even when I'm not around. So I just
there
wanted
any
to
way
get
I
that
could-
clear.
Can I do a psychology roll on him? Is he just like trying to intimidate? Is he lying? What's going on with this guy? Or is he just trying to like scare me?
Do a psychology roll.
93.
Okay. So you can't, he's pretty blank faced. He'd be terrible to play poker with, because he could keep up. Doesn't have any tells, but he's head of security at Meadham. He's obviously tier 3, and he takes his job very seriously. So he just wants to make sure that you understand 100%, before he lets you just walk around the building unobserved.
Okay.
All right. So
Well,
we
this
have an
conversation's
agreement
been
then.
rather insightful, Mr. DeLuca. And I extend my hand to him.
And he shakes your hand, and he grips it rather. He has got a strong hand. You can tell that this guy is the kind of guy who could probably beat the shit out of anyone. He's also looks like he's highly intelligent.
Okay.
So he's not sweating at all.
I'm
all right.
keeping all of that
So he
in
says
mind,
that's
remembering where everything is inside of this office and the way how I got here at this one in particular.
that'll be all. And he lets
Thank
you
you.
go. And you can see as you're leaving, he immediately goes into grabbing some paperwork or something and writing a report, all that other
Am
stuff.
I able to see what paperwork he's grabbing?
No, it just looks like official
Okay.
forms and stuff like that.
Okay.
So you step out of the office. You're on 8. You can see that there are a number of small private offices. There are larger meeting rooms. There is what you would call a mission planning room. They call it here a bullpen. I'm not exactly sure what that means. I think is that circular planning room?
Uh,
It's kind of, step down so that
Yes.
people can be sitting around
Mhm.
and watching.
Yeah.
And there are a number of other elevators and staircases, which you see immediately have keys. There, you couldn't just go up and get onto those elevators. They probably go to private rooms or private floors. So there's more in this building than what you probably have access to, tier 3 areas. And there's, of course, his private office, which is there, his security office. You do notice probably a couple of other security guards, but they're just dressed like security guards. DeLuca is in a suit.
I didn't notice any like key rings or anything as I was leaving the room, did I?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing like that. I haven't seen anything.
DeLuca probably wouldn't leave the keys lying around on hooks on the walls. All right. Stoney, you're up there with the others. Are you going to go with them, or are you going to look around, or what you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really a bookish type, but I'm happy to go along and watch him and see what's going on.
All right. So you guys get to the quartermaster's office, and Mr. Connors is there. He's like, what can I do for you?
We're here to pick up some radio devices or something of the sort.
Communicators, sure. How many do you need?
Well, there's 6 of us.
Okay. He goes immediately into. Go ahead.
Do they operate on a frequency? Is that is it like a radio device?
Yeah, I can tune them all so that you're talking to the same person, or you're all talking to one another.
I think that would be useful for coordination in the field.
Now, their range is about a mile. So if you get outside that radius, then you're probably going to lose communication. But theoretically, you could stagger yourselves so that, you got 6 of you. You could probably cover 6 miles. But person number 1 can't talk to person number 6. You get it? And he starts filling out paperwork, and he's kind of in a caged area, like you'd expect. And there's a lot of equipment and stuff back there. You see a lot of weapons. You see a lot of equipment like you would use. For some dumb reason, you think camping, but it's probably more military camping than it is camping. And he has a lot of clipboards on the wall that you can see are labeled with things like vehicles and medical supplies and all of that. He seems quite busy. He's got a couple of stock boys that he's got running around. You see them every once in a while, but they seem busy doing stuff. And he fills out the paperwork and then brings them out to you in a box. And he says, they're all set for channel 7. He says, you can theoretically speak, if you switch them to 6, whoever's on 6 will be able to hear you. And he shows you how they work. Now they run on batteries. And the batteries the batteries should last at least, a week or so before they go out, unless you're using them constantly, in which case they might run out faster.
But if
now,
we just...
I was just going to say, what size are these? Is this something that we would be able to put in a pocket? Or are they pretty large?
They're amazingly about this big. Yeah.
Okay.
Like telephone receivers.
Mm.
And they've got clips on them, so you can clip them on your belt. And he says, are you off on some mission, or it's just in general to keep in contact?
We didn't expect to be in a particularly dangerous circumstance when we went to Bolivia, and yet we found ourselves in one. So I think we'd best be prepared.
Yeah, we
We
got a briefing from Shapiro about that you guys were coming in. Well done. I mean, you didn't die.
well, most of us
Thanks.
didn't.
Yeah, Dr. Ursini, he was quite a man. We liked him so much.
Yes, we seem to have gone into a situation where they were better informed than we were. Uh, we did pick up a device that gouted fire, but it ran out of juice. Has your team been made privy of this?
A fire pistol. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe there's like an old model up in the archives. Um, we do have fuel cartridges.
Mm.
Excellent.
Yeah, that was some technology. We've only got a couple of those, but yeah, there's something else. They're kind of dangerous. You don't want to accidentally trigger them while they're attached to your hip. You burn your leg off.
Yeah, I'm happy with projectiles myself, but we did find that that was a useful technology for dealing with reptiles, and it seems as though we might be doing more of that.
Well, I can't let you have any of those unless you're going somewhere that warrants that kind of stuff. But
Hmm.
yeah, those are available.
Oh, I have a
Um,
feeling we'll be back to see you.
Cool. Apparently, everyone in my world says cool all the time because I say cool all the time.
Not surprising, your vocabulary is also advanced, given your technology being futuristic.
Yeah, there's some pretty weird stuff up in the archives.
Just out of curiosity, do you happen to have fireworks?
Fireworks. I got flare guns. Um, I could get fireworks if you needed them. What kind of fireworks?
Oh, I was thinking maybe some cherry bombs.
Cherry bombs. Yeah, blasting caps, cherry bombs, M80s. I can get them. I don't think I have anything like that in stock. I've got dynamite in stock.
Well, when we go out, we'll definitely need to get some dynamite from you. We found that they are very useful against formless spawn.
What's that?
You don't want to know.
Okay. I don't need to know. Got hand grenades too. So, I mean, there's
Those are-
special things we got to go through to get you that kind of stuff. But you know, all right. I'd say at some point in in the afternoon, you guys all end up meeting up. We'll say you're on. We'll say you're in that meeting room up on 8. Just in general, you've been given the room to kind of, if you do have some mission, you can lay out your stuff here. There's chalkboards and there's corkboards. You've all come together.
So yeah, they got me working
Right.
on this machine, and I don't know. I can't figure it out. I'm pretty close to just doing the old give it a good bonk on the side and see if that shakes something loose to make it work.
Well, what's
mean, the
it
bonking's
supposed
been
to
working.
do?
It's some sort of biological analyzer thing. I don't know.
Well, that could help me in figuring out what's in these files Shapiro gave me.
Yeah. Figure I'm gonna take a break from it, and after this, me and Goose try to figure out that thing that's doing that thing to him.
Oh, you gonna play with those green rocks?
Yeah. See if we can speed up his new changes.
Transformation?
Yeah, that's the word.
Apparently, I can regrow limbs once I'm fully transformed.
Now, do you know if you're gonna still be Goose, or are you gonna actually look more like a snake person visually? Or is
I'm not gonna change that much visually unless I get wounded. Then I'll grow back black scales, or unless I lose a limb, it'll grow back black. Now, if I'm
interesting?
still Goose, that's like kind of the ship of Theseus question, right? So I would say I'm still the same person,
That could be
just a little
useful.
different. I mean, I wasn't planning on losing a limb, but it might be useful in case I do. I don't see.
But I'm reckon a lot of people that lost limbs didn't plan on losing them though.
I mean, that's you got a fair point there.
Well, I wonder how long it takes one to grow back.
It probably involves how much is consumed. I mean, a sea creature, a starfish, for example, they can lose a limb and regenerate one, but they will do so unless they have sufficient food intake.
So, how much needs to be there before it grows back? Such as if you were to like lose a hand, the hand wouldn't start to regenerate on, it wouldn't grow another body, and then there would be two goose. There would be,
Geese.
or there'd be two geese. Yes, I apologize. Uh, been focusing on the nautical, and they don't have a plural meaning for goose.
They do have a word for that plant, that animal, though, that bird. Interesting. What is it?
It's a
Is there a pictogram for it as well? Would we recognize it as a goose?
he just starts having a coughing fit, and he just goes 1 minute.
There's there's a water in the corner there.
Thank you. And I'll walk over there and I'll grab a drink and I'll just sip some water.
So, Gustav, as Tiranish was trying to explain it to you, you get the impression that, I mean, she was specific about limbs. Obviously, if your head gets cut off, you die. It seems to all be attached to whatever your body, your torso, and your head. The brain controls it. So, yeah, a hand or a finger is not going to grow a new you. It doesn't go in the opposite direction.
Mm.
But you've seen lizards can grow their tails back. The tails don't grow new lizards.
Okay.
Oh, well, you should have asked Tiranish if you could detach your tail like a lizard can when it's in danger.
I mean, I could detach any of my limbs, I'd guess, if I'm in danger and have it grow back. I got plenty of reserve biomaterials in the tank as I slap my belly.
Yes, handcuffing you would be very futile. You could,
Well,
although
I
I
would
wonder about pain.
I would need some object to cut it off as well. You know, if they handcuff me, I probably cannot just pull it off all like that. But yeah, I mean, there'll be uses, I figure. What have you all been, Lloyd, are you okay?
I'm feeling a bit better. I do. Thank you, Goose. I really appreciate that. Yeah, the
Maybe
water really
you're
hits
an
the spot.
asthmatic, hun. You should go to the doctor.
There is a chance of that. I did have a bit of an issue growing up. Seasonal allergies, I believe, is what they contributed to. However, I lost my voice all the time.
Seasonal
The
or
coughing just
situational
would not
allergies?
stop.
And to demonstrate,
Yeah, it's uncanny.
um,
It's might just be a bit dusty in here. I was speaking to another person. They didn't keep their room that clean, and it's probably just a little bit of dust that's still on me. I apologize for that. That's uncouth of me. And I just take a sip of water.
So we'll assume that you're there all day. Do any of you have any questions that you wanted to ask anyone that you forgot about, but now you remember, or do you want to ask
Oh, I want my
Quentin,
communicator.
Yeah, you all have communicators now.
So when I went out to
Okay.
buy a bouquet for Tiranish, I also bought like a bottle of scotch back for Shapiro to try and ply him to
Oh,
give
yeah.
Tiranish a little bit more freedom, see if I can convince him.
Well, you understand part of that's Frank's area, the security thing, and he is one of the most paranoid people that I've ever met, although he doesn't show it. He is not going ever since, and he stops and he says, well, he's just got a real strong handle on security.
Well, I'll see what I can do. Does Frank have any favorite drinks, perhaps?
No, I don't think that he drinks at all.
Hmm. I,
And I wouldn't mess around with him because I mean, he has fired people from the company just because he suspected that they were security risks. He doesn't like people talking. He's extremely loyal to Joshua Meadham, and yeah, and Joshua trusts him, especially in light of, well,
okay. Thanks for the tips.
Is Tiranish the first person of her kind to have been recovered or interacted with?
No. We have recovered a number of specimens from the inner night. So we do have a pretty good knowledge of working physiology.
But only enemies heretofore, which is why she's a guest slash captive.
Yeah, well, I think that, I mean, I'm speaking objectively, but I think the idea was to make sure that the inner night didn't get her and turn her towards their goals. I think now that we've done a lot of questionnaires with her, I don't think that would have ever actually happened, but we didn't know.
Well, yeah, and who
Or-
knows? She might have had knowledge that they could have
well,
gotten from her.
all of the tomes that we had that referred to the dreamer suggested that she was some sort of a sorceress, you know. As it turns out, she talks more along the lines of science, not sorcery or witchcraft or whatever you want to call it. But I think that that's just the way history writes legends of, we have nothing in our human history that says anything about the snake people. So maybe people would just as soon forget, and they did.
Do we know of any particular locations where the inner night is active?
Currently, there are a number of missions that are searching for things like that. I'm really not at liberty to say, and probably there's some ones that I don't know about because I'm not third level. I'm not third tier. But I mean, that's our primary mission. This whole thing started because Joshua Meadham came into contact with some serpent person. Well, he looks around, makes sure that you guys are alone in that room together, and he's like, there is the incident. Okay, look, can I trust you? I'm going to tell you something, but it's very, very sensitive. And you'll understand why it's very sensitive when I tell you that. So, let's see, how do I say this? Number of years ago, I've got it written down. Where did my note go? 1920. Okay. So that's what, 13 years ago. An agent was sent out with a team to stop an internight incursion. And that agent was somehow turned. All of that agent's team was killed. The agent turned to the worship of Sathagua. We believe that she may have had direct contact with the entity. And she then returned to Caduceus and was infiltrating us for 8 years. And she was feeding the enemy information on our doings, and she probably cost us the lives of quite a few agents. And then in 1928, we found out about it, or I say we, Caduceus found out about it, and she got away. And we believe that she is the main thing, the main person that is controlling and organizing the inner night. Before that, they weren't that organized. Now they seem to be much more organized and much more, well, she had knowledge from Caduceus. She had access to everything that you have access to. So, and that
was she? What's her name?
And he leans in very carefully and very closely, and he says, "This is why you can never, ever speak this out loud." The mole was Rose Meadham, Joshua Meadham's daughter. And we'll leave it at that until next time. Excellent. Our players included Cohen Lighton, Carrion Marion, Kent Blue, Julian Arba, Dakota Poole, and David Gassaway, with yours truly as a keeper of arcane lore. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows for you to download from Spotify, Podbean, or iTunes. Support for the show is provided by our patrons who are listed in the closing credits. If you'd like to show us your appreciation, please visit our Patreon page, or you can use the thanks button just below the screen. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows, and leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answer any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Pulp Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.